What's up, everybody? I am back. know I've been gone for a hot minute. Just been done with work recently, a lot of work. So it's kind of been tearing me away. So I didn't really have the energy to actually put in to do my review. But I'm here now. Got some time. So I'll be covering both Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and then Order of the Phoenix. And for the rest of the afternoon, getting to the evening, I'll be getting back to some Borderlands 2, Marvel Rivals, doing one more video with Venom, and then wrapping up with more Expedition 33, because I have been putting it off for a good minute. So, I got a lot to do today. Matter of fact, now I'm thinking about it, probably should have stopped off at the corner store, got me like a little coffee thing, because might do that after this video, because uh, I got my breakfast, got my little Harry Potter Hufflepuff fit on. uh I don't want to sit there, I'm well rested, but I still do not want to fall asleep at no point uh this evening. Uh but in any case, I'm here now covering Order of the Phoenix. And I can't believe I forgot this guy was in this film. I'll cover it in a second, but before we continue, please don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and let me know what's your favorite Harry Potter film. So this is directed by Mike Newell, and of course we got returning characters that we've seen before, but we finally casted, or at least finally got a Voldemort casting, which is probably like the best choice. We got Ralph Fiennes as Lord Voldemort. We got uh, Brandon Gleeson as Mad Eye Moody. Jason Isaacs, Lucius Malfoy, we already know about him. Gary Oldman's back for Sirius Black. Uh, uh, but okay. We have Robert Hardy as Cornelius Fudge. Robert Pattinson as Cedric Diggory, a Hufflepuff student, and a Hogwarts champion. And I can't believe this guy was like, it's like maybe I just blocked it from my memory. But I completely forgot, or he probably wasn't a thing yet, because this is way before the Twilight films. And I'm pretty sure he was casted in that after he was seen in this film, because he's tall, handsome, definitely got like a vampire-esque look to him. But I was like, it's kind of wild to me. He was probably what, in his early 20s when this movie came out. We got David Tennant as Barty Cross Jr. Roger Lloyd Peck as Cross Senior. Clemency Posey as Barbaton's champion, Fleur Delacour. Stanislavs Einvisky as Drumstrang, as the Jerusalem champion Victor Crumb. Uh, so anyway, uh, so in this film, uh, I guess Harry's finally, like, I say finally, but it, typically when we open with Harry, he's with his aunt and uncle. However, in this one, he's staying with the Weasleys, and I'm thinking to myself, after like the first or even the second year, you think after the second year when Ron and his brothers rescue Harry from his house with that flying car, you would think after that point, okay, you gotta arrange something to, because clearly those people don't want Harry there, and they don't really treat him well. You would arrange something just to have him stay with like the Weasleys, or as like a simple, transfer of guardianship. Because I'm pretty sure they will gladly get this kid off their hands because they don't even care. Uh, they talk mad crap about his parents and everything like that, and the aunt is bitter and jealous of her, witch sister. It was like a horrible situation, and it's like, okay, why didn't you just have him just live with the Weasleys? It'll just be a more pleasant situation for all parties. Anyway, um, so Harry ends up having like a nightmare, and probably like some kind of premonition or just seeing through the eyes of, it's obvious it's gonna be like Voldemort, but he doesn't know this at this point. The Weasleys and Harry end up going to, at least not all the Weasleys, but most of them ends up going to this Quidditch World Cup, which is kind of like their football, and the camp ends up getting later on terrorized by Death Eaters, worshippers of Lord Voldemort. Harry loses track briefly of everybody else, and he wakes up and sees like a mysterious dude who puts up a signal flare using his wand, and it leaves a skull with a snake coming out of its mouth, signifying Voldemort's, heralding Voldemort's return. So, they all end up going to Hogwarts eventually, and Dumbledore introduces Mad Eye Moody, who's going to be the new Defense Against the Dark Arts. The guy is kind of weird, and he has skills of learning about all things of malevolent intent, and it kind of, guess, affected his mind a little bit, trying to give him like a bit of excuse of his quirkiness. Um, uh, so this year, Hogwarts will be hosting the Tri Wizards tournament, which uh, 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 people above the age of 17 can submit their written name into the into this Goblet of Fire, and the name is randomly chosen. It's got a spell binding contract to it that almost no wizard or witch is capable of breaking. So uh, uh, there's other schools, or at least wizarding schools, from different countries coming, well, at least two. Uh, Now I'm thinking about it. They making this, Harry Potter TV show. Like, why don't you make a TV show centered around these other schools or something? Clearly, J.K. Rowling established there are other schools from different countries that you can probably highlight different adventures with different sets of casting and different sets of students. That way you don't have to rehash, the same people, same story, and then go through this rigmarole with, oh, let's cast a black Snape instead of just, okay, you want to cast black people, it's all well and good. Even though we already seen plenty of black people in the first few Harry Potter movies. If you rewatched it, you can count them, like at least a dozen in the first film. But, already hashed that out before. But you can highlight, because I looked this up. I'm pretty sure I had this on my Facebook page because I, shared it, and I'm pretty sure I have it saved. But if you look it up, there's a school in the U.S. There's clearly a school in France because like one of them is clearly a very French type of school, the Boltons Academy, and there's one obviously is Russian, the Drumstrang Institute, but there's clearly got to be one in Africa, one in Australia, one in Japan, China, etc. It's like you could do so much with that, with different stories, different characters, and you can do things. It's like an endless possibilities, but I have no faith in this new. At, at best, it'll be an okay show, but you're hashing out the very same story that we already know about. And what you're going to do is just add in little filler details, and all in all, it's like, okay. So we got a little bit more with some flashbacks with Snape as a teenager or whatever. It's like, okay, it might play out well cinematography and acting wise, sure, but all in all, you're telling the exact same story instead of just making a whole new thing, or at least set in a different place or a different time. Not like Fantastic Beasts. That thing was hogwash. Because I don't know if they wasn't trying. I don't know what the case may be with that. Because Newt Scamander or whatever the guy's name was like so dull, not very charming at all, nothing inspiring. Like nobody got anything out of that character. And then you just add in Olaf because he's the hot new face right now. I know he's got a name, Josh Gad, but he's Olaf from Frozen. That's all he is. Uh, uh, anyway, so these two other schools, like, why we didn't get, obviously didn't have time to fill in for other schools, but it's just like, okay, you got, there's like a giant tournament, okay, just got two other schools from different countries. It's like, okay, well, nobody from other countries gave a crap, whatever. So we got the French school and the Russian school. I'm not even gonna try to repronounce those names. So you got the French school, the French Hogwarts school, and then you got the Russian Hogwarts school, and all of them put their names in the cup. And one name selected for this female from the French school, and that Quidditch champion guy, his name was chosen randomly from the Goblet. And then, of course, we got Diggory, whose name was chosen for Hogwarts to represent. But the flame is still burning, and it spits out Harry's name, which is uh confuse a lot of people because there's only supposed to be 3 candidates anyway. And on top of that, I don't think Harry, because Harry is not even 17 yet, so he shouldn't have been able to enter the little perimeter, because only people 17 and above can enter the perimeter and put their name in. Others who try, like Ron's twin brothers, try to sneak their names in, and it forced them out because they try to. They think they can outsmart the spell. So everybody, like Dumbledore is like, kind of out. So this is the first time we see him like, so un not stoic at all. He's like, Harry, did you put your name in? How did you put your name in? It's like, dude, kind of give him time to breathe so he can answer the question. Because Harry didn't do it. He didn't want to participate. He thought it was like not for him. He doesn't want to seek no glory or anything like that. And on top of that, the tournament is very dangerous. Okay, and here's another thing. Why is all these every little thing, especially the fun stuff, gotta be so freaking dangerous? It's kind of weird if you're thinking about it. Like, even something like Quidditch, you might get smacked in the head by one of the bludgers and fall and break something because you're so high up. It's like, hold on a second here. It's like, why everything gotta be so dangerous? It's like, okay, can't something just be a simple simple game with low stakes? Nobody has to die or put their life in danger. At the worst case scenario, you might break a limb. That should be the worst case scenario, not possible death. It's just kind of weird. It's like they do things like that in this universe. If you really peel back the layers a bit, it's like, okay, you shouldn't have this extreme amount of danger for a simple game. It's kind of like with like, if you ever watched the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, it's like most of the time it's like it's not even a simple card game. You gotta put your life in danger, your soul in danger, being put into the shadow realm over a card game. Or if you see Kaiba in Duelist Kingdom threaten put his life on the line on the edge of a building and willingly accept the fact that a feedback from the blast could easily knock him over. And it's like, dude, it's just like a card game. Jeez, relax. That's how I'm feeling about what's going on with, a lot of half the stuff that's going on in Hogwarts. It's like, Jesus, you're supposed to be teaching these kids about magic. Not everything needs to be like a life-threatening scenario. Anyway, so Dumbledore unfortunately couldn't even stop this because somehow somebody of notable power and influence could have easily overpowered the influence of the spell of the goblet. So Harry, definitely wouldn't have been able to, even with his skills, wouldn't be able to bypass such a powerful spell. Somebody did this for what purpose, they don't know. So, unfortunately, Harry has to honor the deal, even though he didn't he didn't put his name in the first place. And then they do Ron so dirty in this past couple of movies, and it's only going to get, it's going to be another scenario in the last 2 films where not sure of the last film. They're definitely in the part 1 of Deathly Hallows. He's gonna be a real asshole, but I don't know. Like, Ron is just like, they could have written better to make it sense, but it just comes across like cheap uh, a contrived reason for conflict between his testing the friendship between him and Harry, where he got in his feelings because if you're gonna put your name in the cover, you could at least I thought you at least told your best friend. Piss off. It's like, bro. It's like I get it. They're teenagers. Their emotions are all over the place, but I know some more level-headed teenagers growing up, and they wouldn't be in their feelings like this. Or at least somebody would have checked them. Like, dude, get out your feelings, okay? I was like, clearly you know this kid. You knew him for years at this point. Of course, he would have told you if he had like a scheme in place to put his name in a cup. Of course, he would have told you, of all people. But clearly, he's just as confused as everybody else. And the fact that you just like, you know, just got in your little pissy little feelings, you're damaging your friendship. And then you got later on Hermione passing, not passing notes, but pretty much like, you tell Harry that Dumbledore said this, and it's just like, yeah, I get it. He's a teenager, but like, dude, grow the heck up. And then later on, you see him getting all pissy and jealous because this is the era when it's like kids are like they're growing up and they're discovering feelings for the opposite sex and everything like that. So Ron doesn't know how to communicate his feelings. Clearly, he has for Hermione because he gets all jealous when she is asked out on a date by the Russian Quidditch champion, and she she kind of got turned on because he got like a very masculine frame. Luckily, he's not like an a-hole or anything like that, but he clearly he clearly's gotten his feelings more than once here. But then Hermione, don't know why she coming across like some nagging mom. It's like, just go to bed. It's like, bitch, like, you're not my mom. I'll go to bed when I freaking feel like. Shut the heck up. And then she's sitting there on the steps, crying because I'm getting ahead of myself because this is doing like this whole another prom homecoming BS ball thing. Speaking of which, I don't know why the mom gives Ron the most feminine looking, clothing ever designed, and you actually thought that look appealing for a man or a young boy. So, like, clearly you don't love your kid because I wouldn't say all that, but it's just still, it's like, sure, our parents usually dressed us up growing up in certain clothing that you don't feel cool wearing, but at the very least it's still obviously a boy's outfit and obviously a girl's outfit. It's very easy, you can tell, but you're very furry looking little outerwear on your lapels and stuff like that. That's clearly a very effeminate thing that's not very attractive and not very appealing. It's like, what are you thinking, mom? Anyway, so thanks to some help with Hagrid, they end up finding out that because there's 3 tests or in this tournament, because you win the Goblet of Fire and the honor and recognition and glory forever, because they hold this, they go every couple of years or something like that. And Harry found out the first test is has something to do with dragons, and since he sparked up a friendship with Diggory early on, he uh, let him know that it was like, look, I just want to let you know that I end up finding out like the first little test that we're gonna have to do got something to do with dragons, so you probably should prepare for that kind of thing. So he gives him a nice little heads up, and kudos because there's no rivalry, there's no animosity. Diggory ends up in return dropping helpful hints to Harry for the the second test that he ends up finding out, like some clues about it to Harry, because just bros helping each other out. Uh, uh, Harry ends up, striking a bit of like a friendship with Mad Eye Moody, because Dumbledore has Moody keeping an eye out on Harry, like a little watchful eye out. So Moody kind of sticks up for Harry after he sees Malfoy being Malfoy and tries to attack Harry while his back is turned, and Moody transforms him into a little ferret. McGonagall put a stop to it. So, he has to sit down with Harry and it draws some bit of knowledge on him, trying to help the kid out. So the first test, they grab it and try to steal an egg from the dragons, and thanks to some advice from Moody about utilizing your wand to summon your broom, so that way he can outfly the dragon and able to steal the egg, because egg holds the next clue to what the next trial will be. And thanks to Diggory, he ends up finding out that in this pervy ghost moaning Myrtle perving out on Harry while he's in the tub. So Harry puts the egg under the water because he tries to open it up. Normally, it seems to leave out a horrible screech, but once you put it under the water, it kind of mellows out the sound to the point it's coherent, and you hear this musical song playing. And once you hear the lyrics, it gives off the clue of what the next tournament will be. And thanks to Neville Longbottom, who is actually I didn't even realize, I probably wasn't paying attention to, growing up watching these movies for the first time. He actually, is pretty good with herbology, which is ironic because he probably was the one who kind of passed out in the first film when he pulled out those screaming plant thingies. I forgot the name of it that fast, but he's actually pretty skilled at this. So I was like, oh, okay, good for you, Longbottom. Came in at the clutch, giving Harry, what was it called? Gillyweed. I'm about to say dillweed. Gillyweed that, for an hour, it allows Harry to be able to sprout gills and fins so he can be able to breathe under the water and swim like a fish. So the tournament champions have to, or tournament players have to rescue their people that's close to them. So Harry has to save Ron. I'm not sure nobody ever picked up that these people went missing for a significant time. Like nobody noticed it at all. But Harry rescues Ron, while the Russian guy rescues Hermione. Uh, the French girl tried to save her sister, but she ends up uh, failing the task because she couldn't get close enough because there's these like, I'm not sure, dangerous looking mermaids or something trying to sea creatures trying to block their path. Uh, and of course, Diggory ends up rescuing this Asian girl who who Harry has a crush on, and initially wanted to ask out to the ball, but Diggory beat him to it. Uh, uh, but then you saw that the French girl's sister was down there, even though they're only required to save one person per person. And it's like, so like, if the French girl couldn't get through with the task, then what? Oh well, her sister's gonna drown to death. And since the transformation only lasts an hour, he wasted, a lot of the time, saving the other girl. So while these other sea creatures, trying to scramble around him because he's not supposed to take more than one, but he used that paralyzing spell with his wand that you saw Hermione use in the previous films. With at least in the second film, with all those little pixie-looking things, in the class squirming around, she froze them all. So he did the exact same thing, so he can be able to get those two to the surface. And so because his valor, he was bestowed the second place, right behind Diggory. And the French girl was like so gracious for Harry for rescuing her sister. Then there's the last trial where all the players have to make it through this giant hedge maze that is constantly shifting and changing, and vines trying to ensnare you. And clearly there's some kind of spell that the Russian guy got whammy with a spell that make him trying to turn on his fellow players, because he took down the French girl, who got dragged by some vines. She ended up being fine at the end of all this, but it's kind of crazy. So they end up running. They have to take out the Russian guy. Harry ends up saving Diggory and from the vines, and they both manage to grasp onto the goblet, which is a port key, which is supposed to transported them out of the maze back to the front of the maze, in front of the students and teachers and all the other stuff. But instead, it was messed with. So instead of transporting them to safety, it transported them into a graveyard where Harry's been having a lot of nightmares about this graveyard, where you see the name Tom Riddle on one of the stones with different dates of death. And that's where you see Peter Pettigrew, who used a killing curse on Diggory, and tied up Harry, and he put he put in motion a spell on a cauldron to finally revive uh, Voldemort because he needed the blood of Harry in order to complete the uh, uh, ritual. And thanks to the blood tie, now Voldemort is able to finally touch Harry without any negative feedback. So he summoned his Death Eaters, one of them being the Draco's father, which is kind of obvious. Um, so now Voldemort, wants to just punish Harry, but the spirits of the victims Voldemort killed, including Diggory and his parents, distracted Voldemort long enough to Harry grab the body of Diggory and the port key to transport them out of the graveyard, back to safety, where uh 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 the father of Diggory is like beside himself, and Harry is expressing like Voldemort killed him and he's back because we later find out that Mad Eye Moody isn't really Mad Eye Moody. It's the son of that Minister of Magic who was killed in like the Forbidden Forest under mysterious circumstances. Turns out it was his son who was sent to Azkaban, but then later rescued by Voldemort's acolytes because he swore an oath to Voldemort. And we see David Tennant playing it, and he's kind of licking his lips, and I can't help but think, is this where Heath Ledger got the whole licking of the lips and smacking from? Because I can't help but think about Heath Ledger's Joker with like the licking of the lips and all this other stuff, and it's like, wait a minute, did he get that from David Tennant this whole time? Even though Heath Ledger did it better, in my opinion, but it's just like I can't help but think about it now, because this movie came out, in 2005, and 2008 is when Dark Knight came out. So he definitely probably got some inspiration, because it's not something that you see often from characters. But yeah. Found where the real Mad Eye Moody is being hidden, and clearly the Crotch Jr. is the one who killed his father, because after figuring out that a long time ago that his son was in league with Voldemort, he kind of disowned him outright. So this was his kind of revenge. So the movie ends with Dumbledore expressing what really happened to Diggory, despite the head minister of magic, who is kind of in denial because he doesn't want to believe that Voldemort is back, and therefore not properly prepare anybody. So he goes against his wishes, and Dumbledore just tells everybody the truth. All the students from the other schools head back home, and the movie ends with the trio, returning home and preparing for the new, for the next time. So that was Goblet of Fire. Intense, you know, emotions get kind of erratic with a lot of people. Uh, this is, I think, this is the movie where things take a major shift to when things get very dark. Uh, but yeah, but that's not it. I will be in a few minutes tangling with uh, the Order of the Phoenix review. But leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, because there's like ebbs and flows. This is still pretty well written film, and there's a lot of ups and downs that I really like. Very emotional roller coaster in a good way. But I still think they kind of did Ron kind of dirty in terms of the narrative, because he come across super whiny and just uh like come across like a whiny little girl sometimes. I was like, wow, they don't do this character no favors. But anyway, I will see you all soon, and yeah, if not, hopefully I'll see you guys later. Take care.